Corruption in office? Yeah. Official misconduct under misconduct? Yes. Corruption of a minor? See, impairing the morals of a minor? Yeah. See, it's bad enough, yeah, that my five sons have had available because I made it available. Yes. Somewhere around 30,000 videos. I mean, there's 16,000 videos on the 444 channel. Yes. And considering the number of documents in all the other drives, right, and all the emails that I've sent as a father, you have corrupted the five minors named. You have effectively proven that you in office cannot be held liable for violating the laws of the United States. And for every day that you refuse to do this, yes, they have learned that those in office are not responsible for the enforcement of the laws. Now, as their father, I'm going to sue you for this. Yes. It's not just the abuse and neglect, yes, of knowing that they didn't get any due process during the dissolution of marriage. Knowing about the fabricated crimes against me where I wasn't in those cities. Knowing about the fraudulent mental health evaluations. It's the knowledge that the sheriffs and police departments refuse to acknowledge the rights of minors. Now, what is the problem with the judiciary that doesn't understand corruption of minors? Don't you, as judges, have an obligation to every young person in this nation that as soon as you have any knowledge of the violating of the rights of those that are under the age of 18, you do have to enforce those rights, and you have to remove them from their mother, and you have to give them to me. Now, you can't make up bullshit, Judge Landis, because you decide you're going to have a $500,000 bail. That's corrupting the morals of minors. You can't arrest somebody for a failure to appear when their state issued identification has been falsified. Yes. And I actually communicated with law enforcement wanting to know what it was about. You can't say, well, the guy did. No. You can't decide that you're going to not plead guilty or not guilty. Yes. You can't make a decision that anybody's going to have a 1077 unless you have any evidence against them. And you sure can't refuse to exonerate the innocent of any wrongdoing. Now, after the last 3.5 years of emails and videos, you would have thought right now that this corruption of those that are minors, yes, this is a very large impairment to their understanding of how the judicial system of the United States. Huge, huge impairment. Yes, they're confused. They don't understand why it is that any person in office would allow for this type of crime to happen. Yes. Now, it might be the vanity of those that are elected to office where they don't want to be sued for the felony of child abuse and child neglect. They don't want to be sued for the felony of abusing the homeless youth right now. They don't want to be sued for the treason of making war against the United States. This is a very strong indication that your vanity of the family, yes, does actually corrupt the morals of minors. Now, I've known a few young people. I understand that somebody convinced them we're going the way of coming to find out. Somewhat sad, isn't it, Sheriff? Yes. That your dog is more important because your dog is vain. Yes. I'm of an ancient breed of civilization, and you don't understand how special I am. Your dog's vanity of how unique they are, how important they are. Yes. How very important it is that they come that money. Now, there could have been young American citizens over the last, 10 to 15 years that got introduced to what is known as the family, the way. But I would say that as soon as law enforcement has any knowledge of violating the legal rights and responsibilities of those that are 14 years old? Yes. I should have gotten some sort of notification from my sons about why it is right now that they did or did not want me as their father. You're vain because you have a dog that looks like you. Now, I told you that I was protecting the right of the minors named, yes, to file lawsuits in every court of the United States. So why don't you give me all those judges that thought, yes, that it was more important? No, I mean every judge. In fact, you know what? Why don't you get me the Social Security recipients? I was thinking of the vanity of my own mother. Yes. The thought that she would take my face. Now, I might have been the offspring of her genetics because she had sex in the back of a car when she was 16. Yes. And even though she did apply for a falsified marriage certificate, marriage license from Kitsap County. Yes. And I said I was going to sue her for that because of my father that died of alcoholism and drug abuse. She's always been a little vain. I'll tell you something right now. The vanity that two 17-year-olds had a marriage license issued to them in 1970 and nobody prosecuted her for the fraud. Fraud does not have a statute of limitations. Now, I remember when she applied for Social Security disability. Yeah. And I was really very, very pleased that she did get that. But it seems the family way is if you get a check from the government, you help those in the family to get a check from the government. So why don't you get me all the Social Security recipients in this nation? Yeah, that are on disability. And then get me the doctors that did the diagnosis of their back pain. Because it seemed to be the mindset of the family. Well, I don't really care if it hurts him. I don't care if his teeth are broken right now. Well, I really don't care if you get any painkillers. Do you understand, Sandra Taylor, right now? And then get me every prescription from the time that she went on Social Security disability for her back pain, because I want to know how many opiates she's received. In fact, I want to know the physicians that have been prescribed right now. See, my thought is let's go through the painkillers of all of those on disability, Social Security, and let's find out every doctor right now because these idiot dogs have been using each other to get that check every month so they could get that pill popping drug addiction. Yes. Now, I thought, yes, that my mother was paid a large